Okay, first you're gonna need a yoga block, so make sure to get one. This is gonna help support your sacrum and low back, so that way you can get into these positions easier and safer. You're gonna tuck the knees into the chest. Focus on your breathing. That's the most important part of all this. You're gonna extend your legs and you're gonna do counterclockwise and clockwise movements. I would dedicate about 3 to 5 minutes of just doing this in the beginning to warm up your low back before we start the other exercises to come in this video. Next, you're gonna need a yoga strap or some type of stretch strap in order to do this exercise. Keep the yoga block under your sacrum. Left leg or the opposite leg is touching the floor, bent, in order for you to get a nice stretch here. Especially when you're tight, you don't need that assistance. Notice how I start extending the other leg. I make sure I keep contact with the heel, and I do this slowly, and you'll start to feel the stretch in the front of the opposite leg. So now you're stretching the hamstring on one leg and the hip flexors on the opposite leg. And then I just adjust accordingly to make sure I maintain and feel a good stretch. And then you'll switch. I would advise about 2 minutes for each side. Next, we're going to take the yoga block. We're going to place it between the knees, maintain it, and squeeze it as we pelvic thrust up. We want to hold the up position about 2 to 3 seconds and squeezing the yoga block. This is going to help isolate the glute medius. Okay, the next exercise is for hip mobility. You're going to take your left leg, you're going to cross it over your right. Make sure that left ankle is on top of that right knee and rotate over towards the floor, touching the left foot to the floor. If you cannot touch the floor because you're limited in hip mobility, take a yoga block or maybe a pillow, so that way when you rotate over, you touch the block or the pillow. This is going to help for you to gain some better mobility in the hip. And then you're going to take it over to the other side, and you're going to let the left knee touch the floor. Same concept here. If you have to use a block to touch, then you'll use a block or a pillow. This is going to help with that mobility. You want to go each side, one over, and you can go back and forth for about a minute or two. And this is what it looks like when you place the block under the knee or the foot in order to get some assistance to do the exercise. Next exercise, we're going to raise one leg up. We're going to go to the opposite side, touch the toe, and then drag the toe to the midline. And then we're going to do the other side. Focus on your breath and do about 5 to 10 reps each side. And make sure you go with the range of motion that you can maintain. Okay, next exercise, we're going to go face down. Now, when you're on the carpet, you can actually touch your forehead to the floor. You're going to raise one leg up high, up and over, touch the foot to the floor, and then drag it towards the other foot back to midline. Get that hip up as high as you can. Open up the hips. You're going to do about 5 to 10 reps each side and focus on your breath.